Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Today, I wanted to talk about a game that I have been taking a lot of my personal time to play. I want to talk about the gameplay behind you, Marvel Heroes. This is a game that Beebs has actually got me hooked on, and I am thoroughly enjoying myself with it. Marvel Heroes is exactly what it looks like to you. It is a very, what do they call it, an MMO with Marvel characters. You know, you have Iron Man, you have all of the Avengers, or at least I think all of the Avengers, most of the Avengers, just all of the Marvel characters, some of the famous ones. There is quite a roster to choose from. I'm not entirely sure who everybody has. I know Iron Man is in there, Magneto, Wolverine, Rocket, Raccoon from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Gamora is in there from Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord as well, and a bunch of other people. So I really love the character variety that they have in here. But as far as the game goes, let's talk about the bad so we can end on a positive note. The main bad thing I can recall about this game is the grind. The grind to rank up, the grind to get better stuff is enormous. This could just be totally personal. This could just be me not being a totally dedicated gamer anymore, or having a job or whatever, but it takes a long time to rank up. It takes a long time to get people ranked up, to get your powers ranked up, to get everything all ranked up and suited up, and to get the best armor and all this stuff. And it takes a long time, and it wouldn't be so bad. However, you cannot play with your friends if they are not within a certain level range with you. For example, if I was level 36, then I would need Beebs to have a character which is level 35 to 40, because that is the only character who could play with me. Now, I don't like this because it really doesn't emphasize playing with friends. It really emphasizes just playing by yourself and just grinding out to get to level 60. Once you get to level 60, it's pretty fun. You know, you get more doors opened up for you. You can start more focusing on other stuff than XP. Right now, I have a whole bunch of XP bonuses because Beebs was so gracious enough to get me some, and it just takes so long just to be able to play with friends. It's something that I really don't enjoy about the game. However, the leveling up itself can be a grind by itself sometimes, but if you're just playing casually by yourself, it's not that big of a deal. The next thing I'm not the biggest fan of is the inventory management. When you battle characters, when you fight enemies, there are a ton of drops, and if you don't know, you would be looking and sorting out through all of this. You don't need to, at least, well, I don't need to. You won't need to in the end. You will know what is the best, because once you get to level 60, all you need is one specific type of drop, and those are pretty rare compared to the other drops, so you know just to look out for those. And that's nice and all. However, when I first started playing, and it could be again the way I played, I was looking through every single piece of, armor. In my case, it's like jackets and boots and gloves, and I was just trying to sort out which one would be better, even if it was by a small margin, which is not the way you need to go. You just need to wait for the good stuff. You're not going to be that much of a deficit with nothing on, so that is another bad thing. And moving on to the positives, I am going to put the gameplay as a positive. If you look out for reviews, you will say that the game gets really repetitive. You're going to the same areas, kind of like Destiny. You're fighting the same enemies, and you're really not doing anything different, which is all true. However, I have not had an engagement or a brawl or a fight in this game that is exactly identical. You get, I can't even count, probably a couple dozen powers for each character, and each character has a different theme. Wolverine is going to be, I imagine, more melee. The Hulk is going to be very melee, very a strong Juggernaut. Juggernaut is in this game. He's a Juggernaut, he's going to be very melee. When you run, you get more powers, and you get stronger. I have Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's the one I've ranked up. He does a lot of splash damage. He sets people on fire. His initial damage is pretty good, but the fire is where you really start killing people. A lot of good area effect damage, lots of fire, lots of flames, as you guys will probably see. And each character is different, each power is different, each way you go about killing an enemy can be different. We have certain rotations that we like. I like using my area of effect damages first and then singling out enemies from then on. Bosses, I like using area of effect and then one of my strongest powers, and then kind of letting that recharge and everything. So even though the enemies are the same, even though the areas are the same, I don't encounter every single enemy in the same exact fashion, which changes it up enough for me. And if you ever get bored, you can change your character, you can change what loadout you have on the character, change out what powers you have on the character. There's a lot of different options you can have, and for somebody like me, that is a great thing. And that is the biggest thing that I really like about this game. There is a lot of payoff. When you first start out, you feel pretty cool and you get these powers and you're like, oh, that's pretty awesome, so you try to use everything. But where I'm at now, I've kind of sorted out what powers I want to have. I'm still experimenting and I still want to try some others out. But over the ranks, I have put more points towards some things, and it's just super powerful. There's this one where I do my motorcycle flip up in the air and I smash it down, and it just does devastating damage. When I first started out, I was dealing maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 here or there damage, really not affecting anyone. But now I'm doing like 250,000, 500,000 sometimes with my special power. It is a great feeling. You have to pay attention to it, you have to have the damage things on, but you do get a sense of accomplishment when you go into a whole horde of enemies and just take care of business and your health doesn't decrease. And there's so much depth to this game, there's so many different powers to this game. This piece of armor does this, it'll take this away and you'll get this, or it does this special damage, or you'll get this amount of health when you get hit. There's so much depth to it that I really like, and there's a lot of payoff. There's a lot of payoff to getting a drop and then seeing, oh, this is so much better, and then you put that piece of armor on, or you put that attribute on, and you actually do have that increase of power, of potential, and you get a little bit more powerful, which is awesome. And so I just want to share that little bit with you guys. That is where a lot of my free time is going. I am editing and rendering and uploading nearly all the time, but at night after I get home from work, I like to get on with Beebs and his brother, and we just crank out and play some Marvel Heroes. It's a very relaxing game. Deaths really don't mean that much in this game. It's not competitive, it's casual. I think there is a PvP, but I'm not entirely sure how that goes, so maybe that's competitive. But as far as leveling up your character, I've heard it's been compared to Diablo, so if you like that game, you're probably going to like this one. I really enjoy it. It's one of my first, it is my first PC MMO, if you can call it that. I'm not entirely sure if that's technically correct categorization of this game, but I really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys too. Check it out. It is free to play, by the way. It is free to play. I should mention that. It is free to play, free to download. The only thing you need to pay for is characters. However, you can pay with in-game currency if you want, which is perfectly fine. But if you don't want to grind and grind and grind, you can just all-out pay, which is perfectly fine. That's the way I think micro DLC should be handled. Costumes a little bit expensive, but that's a different topic for a different day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next absolutely beautiful Marvel Heroes morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, have a great day.